in a post-COVID world where funds pulling back or limiting focus to the core of their investment philosophy. So it's definitely been true that, especially in March, April, where people were really frightened, many venture capitalists said, okay, we're only going to help the portfolio companies make sure they survive. And narrow our focus to really our core focus, and probably that remains true. But what has changed for us is not, are we only helping portfolio companies? If anything, we're investing more today than we ever have before. We're seeing more opportunity than ever before. The reason I think COVID is interesting is if you look back over the last 120 years, times of crises have been the times of the greatest creativity. So the Great Depression saw the greatest increase in US productivity growth ever because people had to make do with less. And we're seeing massive innovation right now because of COVID in online education, online healthcare, remote work, categories that really were in their infancy because of COVID. And so I expect there's going to be a lot of innovation coming. So crises, what they have a tendency to do is to accelerate underlying trends. And this is accelerated dramatically. So there's more opportunity, I would say, in tech today than there's ever been. And so we're investing as aggressively as ever before, with a caveat. And the caveat is if you are in the 10% of categories or industries that are dramatically negatively affected by COVID, we're giving you a wide berth and we're not even looking at a deal. So if you're in travel, if you're in tourism, if you're in offline events, whether it's a business conference or maybe, the StubHub type businesses of like selling tickets in venues, in the offline world specifically, we would not be looking at these because who knows when we're done with COVID. It may very well be another 18 months before we find vaccines that work or treatments that work, or it just disappears and blows over on its own. And if that's the case, these businesses are going to suffer, and because they only raise money for 18 months, it's too difficult. So we're definitely avoiding these completely, but in the rest, as long as the business you have makes sense, made sense before COVID, and makes even more sense today, we're looking at it. And there's more innovation happening today that I've seen probably in the last 20 years. So I'm extremely optimistic and bullish in terms of the companies that are going to come out of this and the impact they're going to have on humanity.